Okay, here we go. Whoa, we are live! Yay! Sorry, I don't know why I sounded like Fozzie Bear then. Hi there. Hello. Hello. How do we know that there's anybody actually watching? Do we know?
There should be a link somewhere that people who see it can.
Here we go.
People then can.
Whoa, we are live! Yay! Sorry, I don't know why I sounded like Fozzie Bear then. Hi there. Hello.
Hello.
How do we know if there's anybody actually watching? Why is that happening? No.
On the right-hand side, you'll see something. There's the chat box, and people can just say hello in there and let you know that they are watching or can see.
Okay. Why did I get that come through? Is that because it's actually coming through on my group?
It is streaming on Facebook. I saw it.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You are live on Facebook right now.
I am live on Facebook right now. Oh my God, this is scary. Okay.
I can see us.
I can't see us. I don't know where we are. Where are we?
We're in your group.
Are we? Great.
You can just say hello in there and let you know that they are.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
This is Michelle Medhat cocking it up in grand style.
Good morning, everyone.
Anyway, so okay, that's good. We appear. My God, we appear to have. Yeah, I know. I'm streaming right now. That's exactly what I thought. Anyway, thank you very much indeed, Steve, and thank you very much for being my tech handy guy.
Wow. No one's ever said that to me before.
Yeah, well, there's always a first with Mitch.
Cool.
Anyway, so thank you very much indeed. And sorry for the tech issues, but anyway, we are all okay now. So that's really, really good. Thank you very much indeed for being on the Weird, the Wonderful, and the Way Out World of the Mish. And you are my very, very first author takeover.
I'm honored to be here.
Takeover Tuesday. So that's really wonderful. What I'd like, first of all, to do is to find out how you got into writing.
Well, that's a good question. I've always dabbled a little bit with anything artistic. I used to do a lot of drawing, painting, writing when I was a kid. My dad was a draftsman. He used to design the London buses. My grandmother was accepted at the London School of Art way back in the war, which she never went to. So there's always been a bit of creativity in the family. And but I used to do a bit of travel writing, a little bit of this and that, but never anything seriously. And when I met Leslie, my wife, on our first date, I knew she was a writer, and I wanted to show off a bit. And so I said I was a writer too, and I really wasn't. She said, "Oh yeah, what have you written then?" And I actually, nothing really. So she challenged me there and then to write a novel, and so I did, and I wrote a novel for NaNoWriMo. And I've been doing it ever since. So that was almost 10 years ago now.
That's incredible. That is absolutely incredible. And do you feel that you've become closer with Leslie now that you're writing as well?
It's definitely something we share. She's a travel writer by trade, but she's done a lot of journalism. She's written a few novels herself, although they haven't seen the light of day. It's definitely something we're both passionate about. So we, it can be a lonely world as a writer, as you probably know. But it's definitely something that we share. So yeah, it's been good for us.
Wonderful. Do you write anything else apart from those brilliant Hiram Cain novels? What else do you write?
Thanks for saying they're brilliant.
They're brilliant.
I've written, like I said, I've done a lot of travel writing. We used to write a lot of travel articles for various low, not high level magazines, not newspapers, local stuff really, and online too. I've also written apart from my action thrillers, as you mentioned, written a couple of political thrillers, an apocalyptic thriller with my friend Jay. Yes. I'm currently involved with a few other collaborations that are slightly stretching the genres, but all more or less in the thriller genre. So
brilliant.
Chancing my arm at a few different things.
That's fantastic. That's Jay Tiziano, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. The Ark, isn't it? The Ark? The Ark?
Ark, yep, Ark, Outbreak is book one, and we've decided, because it's a pandemic story which we had written before COVID. We didn't know about COVID.
Wow.
We felt it was probably, it just didn't feel right pushing it and carrying on. So we're going to take a year out and then go back to it next year sometime, hopefully.
Fantastic, fantastic. What writers have influenced you as an author?
Oh, I mean, so many. I mean, Clive Cussler is the granddaddy of action adventure stuff.
Absolutely.
I've loved all of his books. This isn't my real bookshelf. My book collection is back in the UK in storage. I've got thousands of books, and I've got every book Clive has ever written. So Clive, I always several like Russell Blake in the modern era. I really like Russell Blake. I've always liked Nick Thacker's books, and I'm honoured that him and I are starting a series next month together, which is pretty exciting.
Fantastic.
But also just Carlos Ruiz Zafón is totally a different genre, more literary. I think he's the Dickens of the 20th century, and Dickens himself is absolutely amazing. So very eclectic.
Wonderful. Who would you most like to meet? Which of those authors or authors that aren't around anymore? Who would you most like to meet?
As far as I know, Russell Blake and Nick Thacker are still alive. They better be. And I'm certain I'll meet Nick at some point in the near future. But I would love to have met Clive Cussler. Very interesting guy. He was a real life adventurer, real life explorer. But to go back to meet Dickens would have been pretty amazing.
Fabulous, fabulous.
Or even maybe Cicero in the
oh wow,
just before the time of Christ and the Romans. Time would have been good to meet Cicero. Yes.
Have you been to Bleak House?
No, I haven't. For my sins, no. But I haven't spent much time in England for the last 20 years. So when we do finally go back, if we we'll go on like literary tours all over the country.
Oh, that would be fantastic. That would be fantastic. Apparently, when I was 5, I actually sat in the chair, in Dickens' chair, and I turned around to my mother and I said, "I'm going to be a writer, Mummy."
There you go. How about that?
Anyway, here's hoping, eh?
You are definitely a writer.
I don't know. Anyway, so I love Hiram Cain because he's like the adult version of Indiana Jones. He's everything that you want Indiana Jones to be as an adult, hero.
Kind of, yeah.
Is that how you thought of him, or did you have a different influence?
No, definitely. I mean, who doesn't love Indiana Jones? But I kind of, in a way, I hope this doesn't sound like this is not meant to sound big-headed, but I have done many of the things Indiana Jones did. I have the same degree as him at university. I didn't become a professor. So I have very similar interest to him, and I've been on lots of adventures, and I have done a few kind of expeditions, that kind of stuff. So I guess Hiram Cain is a combination of myself, or what I wanted to be when I grew up, still waiting, Indiana Jones, and just a mix of all those great action heroes, So I do like to think of my stories as kind of Indiana Jones for grown-ups. But
I think it's absolutely fantastic. I think they're wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
Thank you.
In line with your background and your degrees in archaeology, anthropology, and art history, wow,
pretty interesting.
Crops you out. How many ologies are there?
Just the 3.
You always do with an ology. How much has that helped you to actually really get the fine details?
A lot, hugely, actually. Combined with my travels, I think I've traveled a lot too. So with my travels and my studies, it is the small details, I think, in a story that can really make a difference, make it stand out. I hope I've succeeded in that. So yeah, I do draw on all of my studies, at least that I can remember from all those years ago. And there's a lot of he's not an archaeologist per se, like a lot of our generation of writers are writing archaeology stories, and he has a degree in it, but he kind of quit before he graduated from his master's, pretty much like I did, surprisingly enough. And
Had enough of the academic life.
Well, as Hiram Caine would say, he prefers searching for things rather than just digging them up. And that's how I was. So, but it's the details. I do have some knowledge of archaeology. I do have some knowledge of art history, and I do like to throw those details into the stories to give it that extra context.
What's the biggest kind of mystery that you have found out about, or you've uncovered, and you've never been able to close on it? You've never been able to, it's there in the back of your mind, like Indy's father and the chalice,
Well, I mean, there is one, but that did get resolved in book 5 of the series. So I'm not going to say it because I would like people to find that out for themselves and hopefully read it. But there is another one, and Hiram's burning ambition. There were 2. One of them, as I just said, was as a personal one that has been resolved. But there was one. He was a kid when his grandfather, who was a famous explorer, now works for the British Museum. Not true, obviously. He took Hiram Caine to Peru, to the Andes, when he was just a young kid. And ever since then, he's been obsessed with finding the lost city. Some people have the lost Inca city. Some people have claimed it. Machu Picchu is famous, but that wasn't even a lost city. They rediscovered that by chance. It wasn't even that important. Vilcabamba still remains a mystery to some people. Others claim it. So Hiram Caine's that was his great mystery. He has found a lost city in the jungle in the Amazon, in Peru, in the Andes. But he's not convinced it really is Vilcabamba, so he thinks it might still be out there.
Wow!
And I've got 15 books planned for next year, and you never know where he might.
Oh God! You've got your work cut out.
Yeah. That's why I was up at 4:44 this morning.
I saw that. I was like, oh my goodness. And it was so sweet that you did that plug as well. That was really, really kind of you. What do you think the Nazca lines are? What do you think they are?
Well, do you know Eric von Daniken?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I love his books back in the day when I read those, and he claims they are, runways for the gods or signposts for the gods, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think he believes that anymore. He has written a book since then saying, no, it's probably not true. But whatever they are some kind of signpost for somebody. So I like to just let my imagination go with it. I don't know if we're alone in the universe, but I have an imagination. I imagine we're not. So it's a signpost for another world, maybe.
Wow, wonderful.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we'll never know, but
I don't know. I think never's a long day. Never's a long day.
True that.
I think there are, as I always say, there's more to heaven on earth than we understand. But as I said, there is an opportunity for us to find out more and more and more. And
what do you think about the Nazca lines? Do you have a theory that's different to?
Well, I've always thought that as you can see them from above, there has to be a reason for that.
Yeah.
I mean, those amazing kind of like hieroglyphic type formations of the creatures and the birds and things. It's very, very clear that when you are on Earth, they're just a load of lines.
Yeah.
But when you're
ground level, you can't even see them.
Exactly. When you're looking from above, you can see them.
Yeah.
So
I had the pleasure of going to the Nazca lines, and I took one of those 6-seater tiny planes that buzzed around over the top.
Yeah.
I'm not very good in small. I have a weak stomach, and it was hot, and there was no air, and I probably had a hangover. So as the pilot was dipping his wings and flying all over, I embarrassingly I puked in the plane and didn't really get to see very much at all. So my tip is, if you ever go to whoever's listening, if you ever go, don't have a hangover.
Okay, I remember that. That. Well, years and years ago, I used to co-pilot Cessna. So running around in small planes is second nature to me, basically.
Yeah, certainly not for me.
I'd love to go there. I'd love to go there.
Amazing.
In fact, that whole area, I would just love to check it out, because I know that there is something else going on there. Interdimensional, something, I don't know. Who knows? But it's there for a reason. Everything happens for a reason.
The Incas are very spiritual people. They have
very, very much so.
lines, invisible lines that connect different places around the Inca Empire that you can't see them, but you can feel something there. It's a very peculiar place.
Well, I mean, from a scientific point of view, everything runs on vibrational energies. Okay, whether you believe it or not, that is a physical thing. We all have vibrational energies within us, and I think the ancients, I will say the ancients, in terms of Incas and the the pharaohs and the Sumerians and the Akkadians and all these kind of different cultures that were around way before Christ. They had a way of tapping into things, kind of like primal things that perhaps because of our technologies we've actually moved further away.
Could be, for sure, yeah. But the Druids go way back into, like, medieval times, way beyond thousands of years ago. Definitely something happening that we have failed yet to grasp, I'm sure.
Absolutely. I mean, I do recall when I was in Wiltshire and there was that whole thing about all the crop circles and everything. Okay, there were a lot of hoaxes, but there was one. I happened to go into one, and it was just a plain circle, just an ordinary circle, but got to the very, very center of it, and there was like a feeling of vibration. And I saw very, very clearly kind of like blue sparks around the center. And it was very, very, very clear that there was something.
Interesting.
I don't know what it was, and I still don't know what it was.
As just on that same thing, last night I just watched the very first episode of Outlander. And there were a stone circle in Scotland somewhere near Inverness, I think. And it's very much like the one at Avebury in Wiltshire. So yeah, I mean, the actress in that, or the character, had that moment where she went through the portal, I suppose. So it's very much what you're saying there.
Well, there's so many things that I've experienced that you'll hear about more on the group site. But as I say, there's more to heaven on earth than we can even begin to understand. So we can't close our minds to anything, and we can't say, this cannot be. And I certainly do not think that we are the only beings in the universe.
Yeah, I'm very torn about that. I do believe there can't not be another species out there somewhere. They might be beyond human reach in 100 lifetimes, but it's got to be something. It's just too big not to have something, I think.
I've seen too many UFOs. I've seen too many things to actually, and so many things have happened to me that have said, forget it.
Yeah.
There is definitely something else. But anyway, interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
How do you tackle a book? You've written so much and you've done so much. How do you tackle a book? What's your first thing? What's your first kind of like, okay, I'm going to sit down. How do you do it?
Okay. I'm still working out my best formula. I haven't yet. But what I've done for most of my books is I have a location where the main bulk of the story starts. And I think you probably know my Hiram Caine books are all set in different locations, places that I've either lived in or have spent a lot of time in. So I know them very well, and I think that's very important to me. It doesn't have to be for every writer, but for me it is. So I have a place, and I have the MacGuffin, or the treasure, or the thing that everybody's after. And then it just develops around that. I have a brainstorming session. I'd probably go and sit in the pub or on the rooftop here or in the garden with a notebook, just jotting down random ideas, slowly connecting them up. And all through it, of course, is my main character. Why is he there? Where is he going next? And then ultimately, over the course of a few hours, a very tenuous storyline. So that's the first thing, just a brainstorming, but with a place in mind. I always know where the next, I've got a list of the next 15 Kane books. I may never get to write them all, but I have 15 titles ready for me. So I already know the places 15 books down the line. So that's how I start. That's my process for now. I don't think it's the best one, but for now it's working.
That's good. That's good, because you're getting immediately that inspiration of the places, how they felt to you, the kind of taste of the food, the environment, the people, the culture, everything. Yeah. So, and that starts to kind of like inform and shape where you're going to take the story as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think it does. I've just written a few books with the lovely Dave Behrens.
Yeah, good old Dave. We love him.
Great guy. Yeah, it's his birthday yesterday, 74. And so his books, he more or less chose the locations, and they're great locations. But it's Cuba, a lot in Havana. I've never been there, so that was more research for me. And I don't know if it comes across in the writing, but it didn't feel as natural than writing my own books, because I've been there. I have smelled those foods. I've met those people. I've visited that temple. I've done all that stuff. But with Dave's books, I haven't. So it's a bit more of a challenge to write authentically, I think, for me. But the books are popular, so maybe I did a good job. But we'll see. We'll see down the line.
These are all this is Rogue Wave and all those ones.
Well, those are Dave's main series.
Yeah.
And we're writing a spin-off series. The main character for Dave's books is Troy Bodine.
Troy Bodine, that's right.
We're writing the Ryan Bodine spin-off series.
Right. Okay. I just wanted to, promote it.
Yeah. They're going very well. We've had a bit of a break because our initial contract, like gentleman's contract, was for 4 books, and we've done that, and they're doing really well. And we both had to catch up on some other things, but we're probably going to try and squeeze 1 more in by the end of the year, hopefully, maybe 2. Great fun to write. Really good, fast. Good old-fashioned action adventure stuff.
Yeah, they flow off the page easily.
Yeah, it's good fun.
And you're there immediately, which is exactly what you want in a book, basically.
Yeah, agreed.
Fantastic.
Thanks for the plug.
I'm just having a look here. Okay, one of the things I wanted to ask was, what advice would you give to aspiring authors out there? What would you say?
Somebody who has never written.
I'd say everybody's got a book inside them. Mm-hmm. It's really those people.
Yeah.
What would you say to them?
Yeah, and I agree with that. I do think everybody has a story to tell, even if it's a non-fiction story. Could be memoir, biographical. I do think everyone has a story. Yeah. If not, go and find one. And basically, even if you believe you can't write for shit, you might think you're a terrible writer. That doesn't matter. No one's going to read it ever. That's not the point of writing a story. The writing a story is to get the story out, telling it to yourself whilst you're getting it down on the proverbial paper or voice recorded, anywhere. So just go for it. It's like dance like nobody's watching, Write a book. Nobody's going to read it. That comes later. So just feel confident enough to tell a story to yourself. That's. And once it's out, then you can decide what to do with it. But you've got to get it out into the world, even if it's just for yourself.
Do you think people I can't even say it, procrastinate too much about actually, getting things really perfect before they, publish it, or maybe try and put it in front of an agent or whatever?
Yeah, from my own experience, that's definitely true for me. I wrote the first book for NaNoWriMo, as I mentioned earlier, So I wrote it in, actually, in the end, by the time I finished, it was about 6 weeks, but it was a pretty good effort first time out.
Yeah.
And yeah, but then I didn't do anything with it for 2 years because I kept editing it and changing it. And of course, I've just read most of it back. It's coming up on the 6th year anniversary, and it still needs editing. So that's the point. It will never be perfect.
Yeah.
It will never be perfect. And first, you've just got to get that first draft down. Hemingway said, write drunk, edit sober. Stephen King said, the first draft of everything is shit. And it might be that the 10th, 20th draft is still shit, but it doesn't matter because they're drafts. So
the key to writing is actually getting it out of your head. Right. Yeah. The moment you get it out your head, then you can actually visualize what you're trying to say, and it's there. Do you write poetry at all?
The short answer is no, but I have written some. Yes, I've never done anything with it. I don't know how to. Poetry is not just words that rhyme. I know that. But yes, I've written some rhyming poetry over the years. I've got a couple of notebooks full of stuff, and I do like a haiku every once in a while.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I always think that poetry is the way of expressing your soul.
Okay.
You know, I sometimes put poems out when I'm feeling a bit down, or whether I'm feeling happy or whatever. But it's a way of, you know, really saying, this is me, really me, you know. And it is quite a soul-bearing thing. Some people do it just to say, oh, look at me, I'm you know, so clever kind of thing. But I think poetry is a very personal thing. And that's why I wanted to ask you, because you've got such a lot of things that you've done. And I'm just wondering whether, and you seem to me to be quite a spiritual person as well. You know, I don't mean that from a religious point of view. I mean, somebody who's really in touch and connected with nature, with everything around them, and understands the energies around them.
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand things, but I'm definitely open-minded to it. I do.
You do. You don't realize how much you do, but you do.
Maybe, yeah. Part of my degree, one of my ologies was anthropology, so you really dig deep into cultures and traditions.
Absolutely.
All those things, and I'm not in any way authoritative to say this one is true, this one's false, this one's a load of crap, this one's, you know, I'm as inspired or put off by all of them equally. They, you know. And they're not all wrong, are they? These indigenous populations, they can't all be right or wrong. Some of them are definitely right. Some of them, you know, they all think they're right. They all think they're doing something that's unique. And, you know, and I enjoy learning about all of them. I always have. When I did that degree initially, it was the anthropology I was most interested in.
Fascinating.
When I only chose my degree because it's the only degree I could find where I wanted to go to school that had anthropology in it. I didn't really have that much interest in the art history or archaeology at that time. As it turned out, I was way more interested in those things after the first year. But yeah, anthropology is what my first passion was in that degree. So yeah, I mean, I'm very open-minded about all those things, and it's just fascinating, just totally fascinating.
Where would you like to go in the world that you haven't been yet?
How long have we got? I mean, yeah.
Your top three.
Top three. Okay. I've for different reasons, I've never been on an African safari. I would love to do that. That's not cultural. That's just pure, amazing beauty. And it could be spiritual. I know Leslie, my wife, she went on a safari for a work trip a few years ago, and she still to this day says it's the most amazing spiritual thing she's ever done. She, you know, she just, and so we are definitely going to want to do that at some point. This isn't in any order, but that's definitely one of the things I want to do. I would love to go to Jordan to visit.
Wonderful.
Yeah, exactly. I've been to Israel a few times, and I've tried to cross long time ago. I had an Israeli girlfriend, and we tried to cross into Jordan. By that time, twice I've been turned back at the border for various reasons. So I've been frustrated about that.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that's okay. It won't. I'll go one day. Borders, yeah.
Easy. Not easy.
No. And although I've been to Greece before, I've been to a couple of Greek islands for lads' holidays when I was younger. I've never really visited Greece, so I'm kind of obsessed with Greece at the moment. I really, really want to go. I want to go and spend a few months just island hopping, writing retreat, that kind of stuff. So, in no order, those might be a top 3.
So you've got a Gerald Durrell in you. A Gerald Durrell.
I don't know who that is.
Corfu? No.
No, sorry.
My family and other animals? No.
Sorry.
Never mind. He wrote his life when he was a boy on Corfu.
Okay.
That's why I said, there's a Gerald Durrell in.
I have actually been to Corfu, but it was just a one-day trip from a cruise that was passing by. But I really liked it, but I need more time.
There's lots of people saying they can see us watching on my lunch break. Hello, hi. Can we ask questions? Well, I don't know.
Yeah. So on StreamYard, on the right side, there's a private chat or a comments. Can you see the two there?
I can.
So if you click on the comments. There should be. I see Luke's there, Margaret. I can see a few people, and some of them say just Facebook users. So each person has to give StreamYard permission, so then we can see whose name it is.
Right. Okay. Right. Well, they haven't, so we can only see Margaret and we can only see Luke. Unfortunately,
Luke would know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. But I think. Yeah, never mind. But for next time, we'll get it fixed up.
Absolutely. Well, this has all been a bit of an interesting time for me because I'm not very au fait with streaming. I'm very, very au fait with technology.
You managed to get it live, though. That's the main thing.
Talk to me about nanotech or quantum, autonomous. Well, if I can say it, autonomous systems, but. When it comes to Facebook, I'm absolutely shit at it. But anyway,
we are streaming live, so that's the main thing.
Never mind. That's absolutely fine. So, you've been talking about the 15 books you've got lined up. What's the next things on the horizon? I mean, obviously 15 books is 15 books, but what's immediate for you?
So I've got this backlist of books that I've never really marketed. The books do okay, ticking along. I'm not going to be able to retire on it. But I've never really given them a chance to shine because I've never really done any serious marketing. So what's happening right now is I'm going through my my existing Hiram Cain books. I'm editing them. I'm adding chapters here and there to bulk out the series. Meanwhile, Leslie is learning the advertising. So in a couple of months, we're going to have an invested effort to give my backlist the chance they deserve because I think they're good enough.
Fantastic. And what's your backlist called?
Well, the Hiram Cain series. It's still ongoing, but I mean, I've never advertised those books.
The Origins series.
No, it's just the Hiram Cain. The book that is on pre-order now is the Hiram Cain origin story.
Yeah,
it's the prequel set 20 years ago when he was me at university.
This is First Night, guys. Okay.
Silent Night.
Oh, Silent Night. Oh,
yeah.
There you go. I got it completely and utterly wrong.
You only got it half wrong. It doesn't matter.
I knew it was a night of something.
Yeah. It's a bit of a Grail quest set in England. Great, good fun story, fast paced, bit cheesy at times, but it's a good introduction to the main Cain series, and it's 20 years ago when I think he's 20 or 21.
Oh, wonderful! So lots of interesting university hijinks as well.
Well, not as many as there could be. I'm bulking it out as we speak, so I might add you more.
That's good stuff. What music do you like?
Very eclectic. I do like a bit of everything, but if pushed, I would say I'm still stuck in late 80s, early 90s rock bands.
I love that.
Yeah, Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains. But
yeah.
got a Beatles t-shirt on right now. I love the Doors, Hendrix. Pretty eclectic, but usually at least 2 guitars.
Do you create soundtracks or playlists or something like that?
No, I would like to do that. I've seen yours. Yeah, I've seen yours. I think Spotify list. I wouldn't know how to work Spotify, but I do have my iPhone with my own playlist on that I sometimes put on for running or hiking, but not for working. I don't really listen to music while I'm working.
You don't at all?
Occasionally, if Leslie's doing something in the back, her desk is behind this bookshelf, and maybe she's listening to something, I'll put on my noise cancelling headphones with a bit of Vivaldi or Mozart.
Wonderful. Well, I've been listening quite a lot to Hauser recently. So Stepan Hauser and Andre Roux. I love those guys. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. But my own playlists actually reflect the chapters in the series.
That's interesting. I think I would like to have a go at that one day, even just for a bit of fun.
You should. It is great fun because you actually get that kind of embodiment of actually what that chapter or that scene actually means. And then you have certain songs that just like, yeah, that works. What I've done is I've just, over the years, I've picked up different tunes and they've serendipitously hit at certain times. And I think, that works. I mean, and I heard Traitor and I heard Pour Some Sugar on It the other day. And I thought, oh, yes, Pour Some Sugar on It. That is the chapter for the song, chapter 1, where Ashton's doing something very naughty on a plane.
Okay.
And we won't say any more about that.
I guess the nearest I've done is, because my current first book in the series is set in Bali, place I've lived, and I totally love Bali. So I do play some of the local traditional music. I have tried playing that when I'm writing a scene that's in a temple. It's a peaceful scene that doesn't end up very peaceful, but it's distracting more than anything else for me. So I haven't worked that out yet. I'll give it a go. Who are they? What do they want?
What's this?
That sounded like a Facebook call.
I don't know how on earth how do they do that?
Don't know.
Call? Well, go away, please.
Can't they see you're busy?
Somebody's just said Kajagoogoo, and can you juggle?
I don't know who that is, but I can juggle, but I'm not going to do it now because
you can juggle, really?
I can juggle 3 apples probably, but
oh my god, if I tried that, I'd end up probably knocking myself out. In fact, I definitely would. Kajagoogoo, I've got no idea what that is all about. I think that's because we were talking about the 80s music or something.
Yeah, I think it was an 80s band or something. Sam is here. Sam's there.
Hello, Sam. Hi, Sam. Hello, darling.
It's a shame because we probably have some friends here, but we don't know who they are because it just says Facebook user.
Well, I can see you. Okay, never mind. Anyway, not to worry. So, films. What do you like? What floats your boat?
Much like my my music taste, I'm very eclectic with movies too. But of course, you know, I do love Indiana Jones movies.
Sherlock.
Yeah, it's so good. I've got a man crush on Harrison Ford anyway. So, but I love me and my brother. When we were kids, we used to always watch Stand By Me, Lost Boys, Goonies, of course, all those classic, kind of coming of age stories. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I was just in Washington, as you know, and I went down to Oregon on a road trip with Leslie, and we went to the Goonies, some of the sets from the Goonies movie. That was great fun. I've been on the bridge from Lost Boys where they hang underneath it and then disappear into the mist. I've crossed over that. So I just need to go to Stand By Me territory now. Then I've got the full set.
You got the full set? Oh, my goodness. My goodness.
Get there one day. How about you? What do you like?
Oh, me? Oh, do you really want to know?
Yes,
anything want to know. Violence, plenty of politics, espionage, conspiracies, lots of gunplay, lots of beating the shit out of people, all that
I
kind of.
love a Bond.
Huh?
I do love a James Bond.
I love a Bond. I love a Bond. I love sci-fi as well. I love sci-fi horrors as well. Event Horizon, probably one of the best films I've ever seen in my life.
Very good.
Me. And I think the stuff like what do we what's it called? The stuff with Chris Rock and Bruce Willis. One of my favorite films ever was The Fifth Element.
Oh yeah, excellent.
I
Midnight
love
Run.
that. It's one of my favorite films, hands down, ever. And Shoot 'em Up. I love Shoot 'em Up. You ever seen Shoot 'em Up? And the other one was the one with I'm not very good with the names of films, but it's goodness, what's it called? I can't remember. Anyway, it's this guy, he thinks he has anxiety issues and he doesn't. He's just this really cool shooter and he can like slow his metabolism down, and I can't for the life of me remember the actual name of the
Sounds
thing.
like The Matrix. Could it be The Matrix?
No, not The Matrix. No. Oh, hell's bells. Let me have a look and see. I'm just going to quickly have a look on IMDb.
Okay. In the meantime, one of the commenters just said Steve Moore should be the next James Bond.
Oh, there we go.
I don't know who that is, but I love you.
Who was the girl that played Laura Croft? What's her name?
Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie. Okay. She was in that film as well.
My next future ex-wife.
Oh, absolutely. Salt. That was a brilliant film.
Really amazing.
And Wanted. That's my favorite. That's one of my.
Okay.
I love Wanted. I love Wanted.
Yeah, I think I've seen that. It's good.
Hmm?
I think I've seen that one.
Yeah.
Salt. I love Salt. Brilliant movie.
Oh, Salt was just fantastic. Yeah. I love the way she grabs the spider quickly and chucks it up. And I think to myself, okay, I can do that. Yeah, hell, I can.
I don't think I could do that.
Terrified of spiders for a very, very long time. And then I actually said to myself, I'm not going to do this anymore because I got stuck on the stairs for a whole day. I couldn't because there was this huge guy and Sam was out and I was literally stuck. I couldn't come down.
That's scary.
I'm not going to do this anymore. And I actually taught myself with a bit of psychology and a bit of essentially mind reconditioning. And now I can actually pick them up.
Yeah, that's all it is, isn't it? Doesn't make it easy, though. Doesn't make it easy.
No. I actually like them. This is the thing. I like them, but I still have an issue because I know that some of them bite. And I've had so many spider bites. It's just unreal. It really is. And it's not because I picked them up either. It's
as you know, my philosophy is,
look at me. Huh?
I used to be the guy who would stand on a spider. I would kill it, no qualms. But over the last 10 years, I've become much more at one with the world. And as a vegan now, I could never, do that knowingly. I just skirt around or shove them outside, but wouldn't squash them.
Little devices. So if it's really, really large, I will put it in like a plastic container, and then I'll put a piece of card underneath, and then sorry, somebody's just said to me wanted. Yeah, I know, Mary. I've got it already. Sorry. I put a piece of card underneath, and then I just take it outside. I don't kill them anymore. No, I don't. They're spiritual creatures. They're even mentioned in the Refracted. The Refracted. When Sam and Ellie are in the Amazon rainforest and everything's quite a weird kind of communication that Ellie has.
I haven't got to that one yet. There's someone says you owe Sam Nash a $5. Don't know what that's for. But,
I have no idea what that's about.
Oh, that's probably because Sam said Steve should be the next James Bond. If that's true, I owe you more than a $5, Sam.
Oh my God. I'll never forgive them for choosing a blonde for a Bond. No, neither will I, darling.
How about salt and pepper for the next Bond?
Oh, come on.
Not blonde.
Excellent. You'll be excellent.
Don't know about that.
Why not? Why not? Why not? You see, I have a problem with Daniel Craig. I love him to bits. Think he's a fantastic actor. I don't see him as Bond. I never have seen him as Bond.
See, I've read somewhere that Daniel Craig is more like the Bond that Fleming meant him to be, much more gritty, flawed, rather than just,
I don't mean that. I mean the fact that he did have a lot of things that were really good, but I guess it's because he's blonde. I can't get over that. You know, I don't know. I mean, maybe I've been brought up with all the classic Bonds, basically. To me, Pierce Brosnan was the Bond for me.
I'm not having that.
Huh?
Not having that.
No, which one? Sean
For me,
Connery?
I think Daniel Craig's the best Bond, and it's not just.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think he's a great Bond, and I like the new ones more than I like the old ones because they're a bit more serious, a bit more gritty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I like them a little bit more tongue in cheek, but hey ho, we've got to wait until Sam Neill takes over. You see.
Okay. He's the next real Bond.
He's the next real Bond. Oh yes. He beats the crap out of people in ways you cannot imagine. Talking of which, would you ever write a political espionage type novel?
You know, I would say yes to almost any. I would write anything, but I've so many other things that would be before that. I might never get to it. I've got notebooks, literally notebooks of whole series ideas that are slightly more similar to what I'm already doing. And I think that's what I'm good at. So for now, I would like to stick to that. But who knows down the line? Who knows? Never say never.
Love it. Love it. I'm just thinking that I don't know who keeps calling. This is very annoying. But anyway, I don't know how to stop this. Is there a way of stopping that?
Closing Facebook, but then you might.
I don't know. Anyway, please go away. I am not answering the phone. So go away, please. Thank you. Right. What I was going to say was I think there could be an interesting crossover between your Hiram Cain type stuff and maybe having something in MI5 or MI6. And, you know, there's the kind of like maybe a nano chip being put into an archaeological relic. And I don't know.
Yeah. I think
do a combo.
Well, I'm always up for that. What I'm steering away from at the moment is because it's more straight out action adventure thriller stuff. I don't have to be too accurate with any technical details. But once you start getting into the government stuff, there's more research. You've got to be way more accurate, and that just means it takes a lot longer to research and to write. So I'm sort of staying away from that at the moment. You
don't need to research it because if we were to do a combo, I've got all that knowledge. So about that.
Then
you do all the travel and the archaeology and all that kind of stuff, and I'll do the spy politics stuff
for next year, maybe.
Absolutely. Why do we keep getting this? This is very annoying. I don't know.
Just your Facebook. You just need to close your Facebook. I think.
Do I just need to close my Facebook? If I close my Facebook, there we go. Okay. Well done. I didn't know. I thought I had to keep my Facebook. You see what? I don't know these things.
Well, it's still streaming. It's just that you can't see it now.
Oh, right. Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. Cooking. Are you a cook or is it Leslie who cooks?
Now it's both. Traditionally I've been our cook. I enjoy it. Leslie never did. But since I mentioned earlier, she's currently between jobs, let's say, because of the pandemic. She's discovered a love for cooking, which is tremendous. As vegans, we have to be a bit more careful what we make. So Leslie's discovered a passion for cooking, which is tremendous. So I'm working away on my books while she's learning some new skills in the kitchen, which is tremendous. And she's really good as well. So she has a talent she didn't know she had. So, but we both love cooking, so it's something we both can do pretty well.
What's your favorite cuisine?
I would say Thai food probably.
Like Thai.
I've lived in Thailand. Will never be able to make it as good as the traditional cooked Thai food, but I do love it. But anything, I love anything really. Indian food, I love Mexican food, I love too. So anything really.
That's wonderful. Well, Sam does all the cooking in our house because I have actually physically blown up an oven when I was doing domestic science a very, very long time ago, eons in the past. And I actually blew up an oven.
I've never done that. I've never poisoned anyone either. But there's always.
No, I've never poisoned anyone.
I've certainly thought about it before.
You could poison someone then.
No, I've considered it, but.
No. I don't have any dodgy stuff in my cooking or anything like that. No. But I can do a mean pizza.
Okay.
I can do a mean pizza, and I can do a little bit of Thai kind of stir fry-ish. Although I make a terrible mess in the kitchen, that's the problem with me.
Oh yeah, I'm very messy.
I'm a very messy cook, and that's really 99.9% of the time. Sam just says, "Oh, I'm not gonna have her anywhere near the kitchen."
No, I'm the opposite. Like I'm like that thing out of the Muppets who's throwing the beakers and pots around. That's me.
Morning.
Leslie's very methodical, follows everything perfectly to the recipe. She's probably better at cooking than I am these days, and she never makes a mess, which is perfect.
Well, Sam doesn't bother about recipes. He's one of these guys that just makes things happen. You know, he can open the fridge and there's hardly anything in there, and I say, well, we definitely need to go to the supermarket. He'll open it and he'll produce, I don't know, a Michelin 3-star dinner. I don't know how he does it.
That's what my mum used to say. If it's in the fridge, we'll have it. If it's not, we won't.
He makes amazing things. I don't know how, but anyway, there you go. One last thing before we head off, because we've got 5 more minutes. What business advice would you give to new authors in terms of marketing or promotions or anything like that? Any kind of nuggets that?
Well, I'm still, even though I've been at this a few years now, I still feel as if I'm right at the beginning. So I'm still learning new stuff every day. And I think almost that's the key. There are thousands of people out there who know more than I do. I'm always prepared to listen and pick up stuff from other people. I feel as if I'm sort of getting there. I know the basics. And so people are often asking me questions, and then I'm surprised how much I do know. Well, and there are some great courses, as we know. That's probably how most of us met through Mark Dawson's SPF community. So just don't be afraid to learn. Listen to people who know more. There's an investment up front to get some of these courses, and they can be a bit scary and prohibitive. But if you're serious about it, there will need to be a bit of an investment. And don't rush. It's a long game. None of us get rich overnight or ever, probably. But if you're passionate about it and you want to take it seriously, then you have to set yourself up for the long haul. Get your platform in place. But none of us are going to get rich from it. So you've got to enjoy it, haven't you? So
it's absolutely about enjoying it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
However, if the Hiram Cain books were to be made into a film, who would you want to play Hiram Cain?
Well, if it couldn't be myself,
Oh, sweetheart.
I think, can't think of his name now. If Eddie Redmayne would just put on a few pounds and take his thumb out of his ass, I think Eddie Redmayne could be a good Hiram Cain.
He would be brilliant at it.
Hiram Cain, he's a bit rugged, but he's well spoken. He is educated. He almost got his master's degree, but just decided against it. I think Eddie Redmayne would be about the right age, the right background. I think he'd be a good Hiram Cain. And he's a great actor too, by the way.
He's a wonderful actor. Wonderful actor. Well, if he happens to be looking,
if he's listening, Eddie.
Go, Eddie. That's your next.
Give Mish a call. Maybe that's him calling you right now. Maybe that's Eddie Redmayne.
Oh God! Maybe that's it. I'm so sorry, guys. Drop me a line, and I'll get your people to call my people.
Yeah, that would be fun. That would be fun.
Fabulous, Steve. It's been an absolute joy to have you on the weird, the wonderful, and the way out world of the Mish. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you for the invite.
Thank you for making the time. As I know that you've got a huge schedule, so thank you very much.
Thank you very much too.
Wonderful, and have a wonderful day. And thank you everybody for watching and for hearing me rabbit on. Thank you guys, and have a lovely evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are. Love each other.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.